Alright, so we got about a 45-minute wait for the safari. We didn't have a fast pass for this one. If you're planning a vacation to Disney, get the Disney app, and you can make fast pass reservations ahead of time, restaurant reservations. It's a great app because it'll even tell you what the wait times are. But one thing nice about waiting in this queue is it's not bad as far as temperature. So as we go through here, you'll see it's pretty cool. Not that many people right now in this queue, but I just think it takes a lot of time to get through. Alright. Yeah, you can buy beer and stand in line if you want. Buy 4 or 5. Feel pretty good by the time you get on the safari. Alright, so we're standing in line here. They have a lot of nice TVs and stuff and show you a lot of different animals in the safari. So while we're standing in line waiting for the safari, I thought I'd give you a couple tips. If you have a wheelchair or scooter, you get in either the fast pass lane or the standby lane, whatever you have. If you have a fast pass, use it. If not, you'll get in the standby lane. And what you need to do is when you go down through the queue, you'll wait with everybody. When you get real close to the safari vehicles, they will guide you off to the side. You'll go to a special entrance. It's an accessible, it's kind of an accessible staging area where they'll get everybody. They have a special car, whether you're in a wheelchair or scooter, or you can go up a couple steps into the vehicle. You'll be accommodated. If you have to stay in your wheelchair, you can. They have a ramp that goes right up onto the vehicle. So don't worry, no matter what, you'll be accommodated for this ride. Alright, this is the accessible entrance. And they're taking people, they'll bring a special safari vehicle and they'll take a bunch of people at one time and you'll be able to get onto the ride. You can take your time, there's no rush. And here I'm going to give the camera to Susan so she can start taping, and she's going to show me getting onto the vehicle and how easy it is and so forth.
Excuse me.
So while we're waiting, I wanted to talk to you all about subscribing to our channel. Okay, watch your finger. There you go. If you subscribe to our channel and we get 1,000 subscribers before Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens up at the end of August 2019, we're going to start live streaming in the parks every Friday night to bring to you Disney World Live. So please help us, share our channel, subscribe, hit the little notification button so every time we do have a video that pops up you can watch it, and stay tuned. We look forward to bringing live Disney to you every week.
Yeah, bring it all the way up to the truck and we'll move it for you guys.
You can go on this.
Only for the case if we have someone that can't transfer, we're going to have to move you guys. Yeah. I know, but if they have like a big party, we would have to move you. So you're more than welcome to sit up there now, but we would just have to move you back up.
Welcome to Kilimanjaro Safari. Before you begin your trip, you should know.
How many do you guys have? 2?
Yes.
All right. Do you feel comfortable stepping onto the truck?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You guys can just park that there, and then you guys can go row 7 also with them.
To ensure a safe and pleasant trip,
How many?
you should be in good health and free from life.
I'm getting on to 7 as well. I guess I'll leave you on.
Any first-time riders today? Yeah. Well, welcome aboard. Are you guys excited? Yeah. Beautiful. I'm excited for you guys as well. All right, and we have received the all clear from the warden. So our first stop here into the Harambe Wildlife Reserve is going to be the Lototiri Forest. Keep your eyes peeled here as the animals that reside in the Lototiri use their surroundings for camouflage. It looks like to my right hand side you're going to spot an okapi. The okapi here to the right is oftentimes confused to be a relative of the zebra if you check out its leg markings. However, it's not related to the zebra, it's closely related to the giraffe, and we know that due to the cranial structures that these okapis have. They're a little bit more of solitary animals and not very territorial. They will hang around towards the back of the Lototiri Forest. Here in the Lototiri, there's plenty of shaded regions and a lot of water as a resource. So I would keep close. My friends, please make sure that you guys don't pass the baby. Thank you. You guys are not Rafiki and they are not Simba. Alright, but we're going to continue here with the safari ride. All the way to the back on the left hand side, if you check out here across, you're going to spot a black rhino. The black rhino has a very thick skin, 3 inches thick. They're heavily poached for the horns on top of their head. They were oftentimes poached because they believed that the horns that they have had medicinal value. But those horns are in fact made out of keratin, which is the same thing that your fingernails and hair are made out of. If you were to bite your nail and fingernails, well, you know there's no medicinal value whatsoever. To the left here, down below, in between the bushes, there's a bongo. They're known as the ghost of the forest, as they reside deeply within. Those twisted horns that they have, pushed back, help them move swiftly through the brushes. So, with this body of water here on the right, all the way towards the back is a Nile hippopotamus. It actually has its head above the water. Fun fact about them, they can withstand 6 to 8 minutes submerged underwater. But when that time does come up, they have to resurface and they have to take another quick breath of air. For that matter, I think that Nile hippopotamus is resurfacing to take a breath of air, but it will resubmerge itself. They'll do that to protect themselves from the sun. The majority of the time they will spend it submerged underwater, which means that at nighttime they will resurface and travel many, many miles to graze at night. The birds here on the body of water to the left, the pink-backed pelicans, are the ones that we're crossing here. Pink-backed pelicans can nest in groups of 20 to 200 at a time. So, very, very large groups. During mating season, their actual backs will turn pinks as well. Not their feathers, because they're not flamingos, but their backs. These Nile crocodiles can grow to be 20 feet long. They have very powerful jaws which allow them to consume animals much larger than their size. And I'm going to mention here to the right hand side, just pointing out a little bit more about the environment and ecosystem of Harambe Wildlife Reserve. To the right, you're going to spot a baobab tree. The baobab tree is very crucial to the ecosystem, as if you check out its trunk, it's been punctured by animals. More than likely, it's been an elephant that's punctured the trunk. That's because the trunk will contain water for consumption. That baobab tree will only grow leaves 3 months out of the calendar year. And as we enter here, this third portion of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, take a beautiful look out onto the savannah, as this is the highest point. And it looks like the first animal that we'll spot here on the savannah is going to be the Ankole cattle. It'll be to your right hand side. They're the cattle with the very large horns. Those horns can grow to be 6 feet long. Although they are very large, they're not hollow, but they're not very heavy either. They have more of a honeycomb-like structure that contain blood vessels, and that's what helps the Ankoli cattle cool off. They're actually the only domesticated animal on the reserve, too. To my left-hand side, all the way towards the back, you're going to spot the sable antelope. Sable antelope is also the symbol of the reserve. That's because they are very protective of their herd. They will always stay back and fight to protect the herd from any predators that may want to attack. And that's what we do here on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. We are here to stand and protect the animals from poaching and extinction. I always like to mention that what you're seeing here on the savannah is shaped truly by the animals. If you check out the Maasai giraffe here on the left-hand side, it is grazing on a tree. This Maasai giraffe here, if you check out its pattern, the uneven pattern that they have is how we're able to identify that it is a Maasai giraffe. There are actually 9 different types of giraffes out in the wild, Maasai being one of them, named after the Maasai African people. More to know about the giraffes as well. There's actually a baby coming down below. So when Maasai giraffes are born, babies can fall at a height of 6 feet. They'll actually start walking within the hour. Coating helps them so they don't get sunburned. There's actually a baby giraffe here to my left. Yeah, there they are.
They have 4 out there. Wow. And one was born out there. They usually try to get him in the back, but she wasn't going.
There's a couple more baby giraffes over here too. If you guys check out their tails, so smaller giraffes may not have longer hairs right now, but a giraffe's tail, a single hair strand, is 10 times thicker than human hair. They'll actually use it as a form of a defense mechanism. If they want to swat any insects, that's what they'll use. It's kind of like a swatter. And it is a very hot day, and it looks like the African elephant knows it. He's actually on the right hand side using the watering hole. If you check out this African elephant, it's using its trunk. They can use it to water themselves. Obviously, if they want a drink of water, or if they want to graze, they'll use that trunk. But if they want to bathe themselves, they'll kind of splash water on their back. I've never actually seen the African elephant all the way in the watering hole, so. And it looks like there are some more African elephants to my left. I'm going to make this turn and see if we can get a little bit closer. So there is an African elephant right over here to my left-hand side. I'll stop for one moment. African elephants are very social animals. They live in a matriarchal society, which means that the oldest and the wisest of the females will lead the herd each year across the savannah. It looks like there's a couple more African elephants straight ahead as we make this turn. I think they're having a little bit too much fun. They're throwing sand on each other with their trunks. Or they might be coating themselves. Oftentimes when animals coat themselves with mud or any other extra coating. It's to protect themselves from the sun or cool themselves off. To my left here, you're going to spot Flamingo Island. These are the greater flamingos, as they are the lightest in coloring and the tallest. For my returning safari guest, trivia question. Do you guys remember where they get their coloring from?
Shrimp. Shrimp.
No? Answers? No?
Shrimp.
Shrimp, that's correct, yeah. 100 points for my trunk right here. So they actually get it from the beta carotene and the brine shrimp that they consume. So when they roll around in mud, it serves to them sort of like sunscreen. Alright, and as we make this turn up ahead here, these large rock formations are known as a kopje. They better serve the lions. They're a great vantage point for the lion, as they can look out onto the savanna. The flat rock surfaces are a great place for them to lay out. I'm not sure if we'll get to see them right now, since it is very hot, and the kopje is directly in the sunlight. But lions do rest around 20 hours of the day. However, for your enjoyment, there is some ostriches to the right-hand side. Very, very interesting birds. They are the largest birds, however, they cannot fly. Does anyone know how fast an ostrich can run? I think I heard the answer. They can run 40 miles per hour. And so they are the largest birds, and they are very, very quick. And here to my left-hand side, we're approaching warthogs. Warthogs are the largest burrowing animal. They have two different types of tusks. The larger ones they use to burrow, and the smaller ones are sharp-like, and they use it to fend off any predators.
He's walking on his knees.
What was that I'm saying? Oh, so that one, it's nothing really wrong with him. That's actually one of the most interesting things. Disney animators, when they took note for the Lion King, they can actually bounce on their tail too. So that's what kind of gives them its like dancing feature in the movie. I'll stop here for a moment. On the right hand side, those are the white rhinos. They're actually laying out. They have a prehensile lip as well, so that when they do graze, they graze a little bit easier. Go many months without a single drop of water. Oh, it looks like it knows we're talking about it. Alright. Luckily for that Scimitar Horned Oryx, it has plenty of shade and a lot of water as a resource. And as we exit here, the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, once again, my friends, my name is Igor. It was my true pleasure bringing you guys out here. We may not have gotten a chance to see all the animals, but we did have a pretty good look. Go make a difference.